Welcome all. Today we're going to see overview of sum phases. As you all know, sum is a tool which we use for update purpose in SAP environment. Sum has got two versions, sum 1.0 and sum 2.0. Today we're going to discuss about sum 2.0 which we used from upgrade of system from Oracle to HANA systems. Yes. So in this we have to pass some phases, and in those phases we have to escalate all the errors, remove all the errors, then only we can reach to proper upgradation, or you can say conversion. Okay. So what all steps we are going to see today in sum? There are six phases, namely the extraction phase, the configuration phase, the check phase, the pre-processing phase, the execution phase, and the post-processing phase. These are the basic minimum steps which you need to pass on to complete your sum process. This is the initial screen which you are getting when you launch your sum tool. In that, you clearly see all that been seen. Now we are at a extraction phase. So here, what we have to do, we have to put our XML file which we have created, which is called a stack XML file, which we create via maintenance planner. We'll see all those things another chapter. Here, we already created a stack XML file. We put here, and when you press next, it will take you to this screen, extraction phase. Yeah. In extraction phase, what all needs to taken care of. Okay, here first it asks for DDIC username and the password. Before starting your sum upgrade, this password should be handy with you. The DDIC password, OS passwords, DB passwords, all passwords should be handy, because it should be asked any point of the time in upgrade. If you miss those things, then you have to start is from scratch. So before starting all these things, you have to keep in mind, you have to keep all these passwords like 000, your client, those clients, SAP, star, DDIC, and DB passwords to be handy with you. Whenever it asks, you have to just fill that user ID and password so it could go further without any problem. Yes. Then identify the database and the SAP version. It will identify or you're on which database and which version. Yes, no problem. Is go ahead. Then check the stack XML file. This file which you are given, whether it is properly built or not. If it found any error, it will throw error, it won't go further. Till until and unless you fill everything proper in stack XML file, it won't go further. What needs to be taken care? Like source thing and target thing. If you are updating system, you have to first see your source, then source, then you have to select the target. So between this delta is there, all these files are selected in stack XML file. There are some issues when some things are not selected properly. At that time, you have to check, recheck. It may take some time, but you have to recheck, reselect everything. When you stack XML file should be properly selected, and this goes further. It is go further means it selected all the files properly. Then what it does, it's scanning of download directory where all patches are placed. It will check your download directory where you put all your download patches. Yes. Then extract files. It will extract files and moves to EPS in. This is our folder. You can keep any name. If actually name was EPC/in, but here we made EPC1.in, because in EPC1 already there were some files. Then what we did, we created a new folder called EPS/in. We put all files over there. Okay. Then check spam version. It's very important thing to check a spam version before you do upgradation. For example, you are on 56 spam version, but latest was 83. And what you have to do, you have to go to latest version, and you have to keep in mind, you can go n-1. If latest is 83, you can go till 81 or 82 is no problem. But if you go through F56, then it will create a big problem in later phase of your upgradation. Your upgrade may fail many times because this was too old file. It will not able to read all your new files. It will end up with the errors where you have to start things from a scrap again. Yeah. Then you have to give credentials of SID ADM. SID, any three characters, ADM, and the credential. You should have this password. Usually password should be handy. Yeah. Pre-upgrade S-Node implementation. Yeah, here what happened in this phase, SAP provide you some S-Node list of implementation, because the source and target which are selected for those things, SAP has some pre-implemented SAP nodes. If you implement those nodes properly, in one main node, we have got many sub nodes. If you properly extract all those, implement all those things, it will go further without any problem. Yes. Then check if the source and target system are valid for update. Here, it will check your source system and target system. If everything matches, then it will go further. Like it check OS version, DB version, um, SAP version, support per patch. Everything should perfectly match it with source and the target. Who checks this? The PAM does it for us. PAM is PAM is product availability matrix is a tool which we uses to select all this kind of thing. Then then you check is the SAP release. Then you check the system profiles. Which profiles? We have got instance profile and the default profile. It checks in all these things are we'll do in extraction phase. If you pass all these things, then it lasts for the next step. When you press next, it will go to the next step called configuration phase. This is the second phase. And it's also an important phase. You can see here. Here we have to fill few things properly. Okay, if you don't know, take help from SAP or take help from Google and see what all good things you can achieve over here. Yeah, here execution strategy for transaction SGen. Like SGen is a T code we mainly implement after implementation, after properly upgrade. Here, it read compile all your tables by which when you compile everything properly by SGen, when you put any transaction, it will give answer in milliseconds. Otherwise, it has to search all things, compile all things each and every time, which takes some more time for execution for transaction codes. Now, never give SGen while doing upgrade. You have to do SGen only once you complete your upgrade and complete all your phases. Yes, yeah. The minimum number of processors to be used for load generation of SGen. Here we have option. Okay, how many processes it will take doing SGen? Like 6, 8, 10, 15, 20. It's all depending upon hardware, CPUs, or RAM you have. Okay, it will well decided. Normally, it gives a default value. So don't never use default. You can increase it, no problem. But it all depends upon again the RAM, CPU you have. Okay, on the basis of that, if you increase those processes, SGen will be complete as early as possible. Yeah. And here see, main thing, what you have to say in configuring place, batch process uptime, batch process downtime. Here you have to fill all these things very properly. Okay. The batch process uptime, batch process downtime. Maximum number of DLL processes, uptime and downtime. Number of parallel import processes, R3 times uptime, downtime. Parallel phases, uptime, downtime. These all are things which you need to update properly. Like this is the screen you're getting. You can see here somebody has given 2020, 2020, 2020, 40, 40. These are default values 666 or 88 comes depending upon hardware and the RAM and the CPUs. But here on Sandbox, you can do many R&Ds by which you can minimize the downtime. Here what it does, it says how many above process should be used while system is up and how many above process should be used while system is down. System is down means when you are in execution phase. When execution phase, system is in downtime. After completion of pre-processing at that time, how many should be used? It's all depending upon availability of RAM and hardware. Then SQL process uptime 20, SQL process downtime. How many should be used till pre-processing and how many should be used at a downtime. Okay, and these things can vary in sandbox development and quality because it always depending upon RAM and CPUs. Yeah. Then we have one more thing, R3 trans uptime and R3 stamp downtime. Here, it will try to start writing programs, upload program, download program for the upgrade purpose. It's also in uptime and downtime. Now we have R3 load process uptime, R3 process downtime. It should be maximum. You can take maximum 60 over here. Okay. After this, you have to fill all this and press next. Okay. Once you press next, then what it is update by update. The update the instances, enhancement pack installation, and add-on selection. It gives some add-on is there, like it shows the all add-ons which are required. It will select. You have to check carefully all the add-ons, and again press next. Then it will ask for a modification adjustment expedient transport required for south transport required. Here it creates one transport request. Okay, you have to just take a screenshot of transport request and go ahead. Then once you complete this phase, it will take you to the check phase. What is the check phase? Here is the last phase where it checks your things last time. After this, it will go for real-time upgradation. Now see what it checks. It checks for the database space. If space is insufficient, you have to extend it with table space with the scripts. Yeah, like before starting upgradation, the create table space and all, but it calculates internally. If it found this table space has less space, then it suggests please increase 50 GB, please increase 40 GB for particular table space. But how you increase? It has got some default script. You have to run those scripts and try to extend the table space as per the requirement. If you skip this step and go ahead, your upgrade will not happen at any cost, because until unless you have proper table spaces, it will not going to read and write anything. If at all it writes, the file system gets full and the upgrade gets failed and come out. Yeah. And here activation and conversion checks. It shows some activation and conversion checks. Then next step is modification support, the preliminary update processing, then list lock SAP objects. Here see, whatever objects are open in your system, you have to be locked. You have to be, like some transport requests are open phase. If any of the transport is open phase, it won't go further. It will go back. You have to lock and release the transport request. That whatever changes you made in request, that should be released. Then only it goes further. You have to take care of list of SAP locked object. Okay, you have to unlock them properly, release all those requests. Then check phase completes. It goes to the next phase. Now you see what all things we'll see in check phase. You can see ACT-RF check phase. This phase checks whether activation errors might occur during the installation. You can see the log files. Some directory log sapup console.log. This is the log file where you can see your console log at any point of time. Then batch check underscore gen phase. Some test whether background server can access the update directory or not. These all are important phase names. Check for nodes package phase. Some ask to implement some necessary SAP nodes. Yes, this is also a main phase. Now you see checks roadmap steps. In this roadmap steps, some executes various checks: database kernel, OS, space calculation, leftover from conversions, folder updates. Yes. Then env files underscore check phase. This phase checks environment of SIDADM, whether profiles of user SAP ID can be modified or not. Then free check phase. This phase checks the free space of the file system. Yeah. If it has, it go further. If it don't has, it's immediately say we need this much space to go further. Then job underscore RSA check underscore do phase. This phase checks for double F rules in table. RSUP DIN FO. Yes. Then job underscore RSUP GR check underscore preface. This phase checks consistency of generated repositories. All these phases are compulsion to go on. Let's see, space check underscore INA or space check of phase checks the database free space. The main purpose of check phase is to check a free space, the main step, and what all things are left. Because once you pass on this page, you cannot do any modification according to your requirement. You have to fulfill all these things. Then you will see one more phase, tab SPC underscore pref phase. Calculates which tables are part of import into the old tables. Once this phase clear, you are into pre-processing phase. This is very important phase where you can start working on the shadow instance. Okay. Now we'll see what is the shadow instance, how it works. First see what are the things we can choose in pre-processing phase. This is the last phase before you're going to the downtime. Here, checks the locked objects. If any lock objects there, it will stop you there. You have to unlock those objects. Then above work being locking. Like here, once you complete this phase, then no more above development will happen. You have to stop your development. You have to take cut off your development. You have to stop your development. You have to remove all your users from system, because once you complete this phase, your system is started read and write to a my new upgrade versions. Yeah, run shadow systems for preparations. This is the shadow system. We'll see shadow system. We have a different chapter. We will see how and why how we can work with the shadow systems. Then SPDD adjustment. These things taken care by Abapus, who do all dictionary object adjustment as per the SAP requirement. Then here you can say your downtime starts. When this downtime starts, it will ask you for take a backup, lock your above developments, and remove all this from system. When all these things are fulfilled properly, then it will take you to the next step. Before taking next step, what is this? Why you take backup here? If anything hamper, anything destroy your system after this, you can restore to this point without any hesitation, which will save here 2 to 3, because to reach here you put your efforts minimum 3 days to reach here. I'm talking about sandbox system. Sometimes it may take 10 days also to reach here. 15 days also it will reach here. Why to spoil all those things? You have to take proper backup. If anything happens after this, you can restore till this point without any issues. Now you see what are the main phases you have in pre-processing phase. You say EU underscore import 1 or EU import 2. In this phase, R3 process will be started importing data from DVDs to the database. What are the evidence? We have load some DVDs. It will take data and write into the database. If you choose the pre-configuration mode single phase during the downtime log file, yeah, you can see SAP log is a folder where you can see all the log files, or current log files of system. Now you see we have one more phase called ICN, VI, NIT phase. Some checks the volumes of ICV candidates and initially successful candidates. Yes. Then you see we have one more step called job underscore RSVB check 2 phase. If there are any outstanding or incomplete updates, the update stops in this phase, proceed roadmap or job. It will check for all incomplete updates and will try to complete, then only it goes further. Then we have one more step, PADDIST underscore SSD phase. Some start the distribute on the shadow instance parallel jobs. Shadow instance means it will create a one more instance with the same SID, but the instance number will be same. Shadow instance purpose, it will create one more instance which will require more of a RAM, more of a hardware, and it's use the same SID as you have SID, but it change your instance number. Previously it was 00, a normal system, but shadow system instance it has got 01, but SID should remain same all the time. Yeah. Now we see we have one more step called PADDIST underscore SSD. Some start the distribute shadow instance value. Then we have see paramount shared phase, some activates diametries. Then you see we have one more for run underscore check SLT trigger. Some will check before downtime the switch tables for existing triggers. Now we have one more step called run underscore FDC struct analyzer. Some analyze struct the changes. These all things you require to do proper upgradation. Yeah, shadow import phase. Shadow system imports phase are run during the shadow instance. On this phase, data is imported on the shadow tables and on new tables. The shadow import is feature aimed to be reduce the application downtime caused by the import of support packages. The idea behind this feature is to activate and convert all objects belong to the support package into the shadow repository, and at the end of all phases, switch to the new coding and import all these packages forward via transporting using TPN-R3. TPN-R3 we use to import and export packages from one system to other system, while we use all these things by doing transport of things from one system to other system. Yeah. Shadow import phases. Data is imported on shadow tables and new tables. The shadow init DB. Shadow is the shadow system DB user. Once shadow system is done, it will get it deleted. Yeah. Now you see SPDD upgrade phase. Here, system complies all dictionary objects, data elements, structures of recipient. And previous, yeah, here it will say your SPDD upgrades everything as per the new system. For trying to go from ECC6 to ECP6 to ESPN, in this phase you see all ESP things are there for you. The start SDF first phase. Some start shadow instance for the first time. Some start shadow instance for the first time. Start underscore SSD report. Yeah, here you can see you can able to log into the shadow system. There are few OS command which we'll see in next video, which all OS decodes you need to use to log in and log off or restart the shadow instance. If you want to import any transport, you have to do any activity, you have to log into shadow instance because you have lost your system now. You're working shadow instance. You have to put your credentials on GUI and you have to put your IP is same, SID is same, only instance number get changed and user ID remains same. You can log into shadow system and do whatever activities you can see. You see, stop underscore SA. Stop some stops the shadow instance if some reset was selected. Yeah. If sometimes we relax the shadow reset means start from first. When you select the SSD, some reset some stop the shadow instance. Totally stop shadow instance when you try to reset your system from scratch again. Then the real thing starts execution phase. In this phase, you see our real upgrade starts. Here see merging of shadow to real instance. So what it does, what shadow instance, it will merge your shadow instance to real instance, which will uh, because already your system is created in shadow, it will just merge internally from shadow to a real system, which will reduce your downtime. And downtime also, we have one video where you can see different types of downtime and which downtime suits you. According to that, you have to plan your things for the downtimes here. Then in this system upgrade starts, table conversion start, table conversion, old tables to new table. And after once this complete, your downtime does complete. Once downtime completes, it means the upgrade is successful, but you are not till not able to hand your system to the users because here you have to perform some pre-steps. What are the pre-steps? First of all, once you complete this activity successfully, you have to take proper backup, then you have to perform some post-installation tasks like background jobs, HTMS, SGen. There are few more. Once you do all those things, then only you have to hand over system to the users. Here downtime completes, who knows? Only you knows because users are locked at that time. In order to inform management that successfully done completely, but we not few more hours for doing some post-install activities. Now you see the important phases of this phase. You can see act trans phase and SPDD. If you select downtime minimized update strategy, the activation will be executed in upgrade phase. See all these phases, UU underscore clone mic underscore DT underscore run phase. Some migrates data from source database to the HANA database. This is the phase where you can see your system migrate your data from source system to the target database. Our job RSV B checks here. If there is any outstanding or incomplete update phase stops in phases, it will share and alert you. Okay. Then you have one more phase KX underscore switch phase. Some install the standard instance targeted is kernel here. In this phase, you can see some install target kernel because source kernel is different and target kernel. If you don't install target kernel in newly updated system may go fail. So who take care of this? When you create a stack Amazon file, it will take a target kernel, but it will get installed in this KX underscore switch phase. The started instance targets here. The modprop upgrade, some will modify the sum profiles for the upgrade, yes. Then moving tab underscore update phase, some converts application views and activate remaining name tab entries. Then you see some more phases, few more phases, run underscore system downtime. Some runs BW related checks before entering into the downtime. If it is BW system, this phase will run. Otherwise, this phase won't run. Then you see here SQL run task underscore drop where CDS views can switch tables. Then here start underscore SSD phases. Some start the shadow instance third time. Yes. Now start SAP Some start the standard instance after kernel switch to the target kernel. Yeah. Yes, here your update try to start your system after they upgrade kernel to the latest level. Then you see start SAP pop, start SAP top, some start standard instance for the post processing. Yeah. In this step, system some try to start your instance for the post processing activity. Some start the standard instance before kernel students. Now you're coming to the post processing phase. Here you have to do support changes and how to take a final backup and perform all procedural steps. And one more thing, you are done with the sandbox server upgrade successfully. Then what is the most point you want to see? You want to see what is the exact downtime required for this product. Then you can see find afghana.xml file or detailed information below path. This file will show you in which step how much time it will take and how much time it will exactly take in a downtime. Then on the basis of this, you can tell this much time it will take for the downtime of your product here. The locations of list Sum, ABAP, htdoc, Afghan XML. Okay, this is for Sum 1.032. The Sum, ABAP, doc analysis, Afghan Express sum to 32. These are the file paths. Thanks for listening.